Hi everyone, this is Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new AK After I Saw review episode for today. This one's going to be on another film I saw last year in 2021, which this one unfortunately did not get a theatrical release in the UK. This unfortunately did get a theatrical release in the US back in May, but we didn't get this film until December due to the whole pandemic situation and a few reschedules happened with this film. So this unfortunately was released on Amazon Prime back in December, and I did watch this a couple of days after it was released on Amazon Prime. So I'm here to give you guys my views on this film, which today's review is going to be on the 2021 action heist thriller, and that is Wrath of Man. This film is directed by Guy Ritchie, and this is another collaboration he's done along with Jason Statham, which they have done a few films together, mostly well known like Snatch, which I do think is a great movie. And so in this film, we follow Jason Statham's character, who calls himself H. That's his actual name in the movie. And basically, he gets a job by working at a cash moving bank company, and which basically they move cash to move the cash from the bank in Los Angeles, and basically there's been like a bunch of robberies involving with this moving truck company. And for Jason Statham's character, he encounters a robbery during this job, and he basically uses his skills to basically neutralize these robbers. And the crew at his job are thinking like thinking of something mysterious about him, like who is he and where is he from and all that. And we do learn a bit more about this character later on in the movie, during what point of the film of like what he's really doing and all that, in which we actually learn that he's actually out for revenge after what happened with his brother. So that's pretty much the story of Wrath of Man. Before I get into my opinions on this film, for Guy Ritchie's films, I technically haven't seen all of his films. Well, I started to catch up with some of his old films. Well, I haven't seen all of them though, but I have seen Snatch though, which I do think it is a great movie. And like I said, Guy Ritchie directed that film, and Jason Statham was in that movie alongside Brad Pitt, and it is definitely a great film, and I do suggest you check it out. And I still haven't seen his well-known crime film known as Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, but I really want to see that film. And I haven't seen the Sherlock Holmes movies, the ones with Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, but I really want to see those movies soon. And I have seen two of his newer films that were released in 2019 and 2020, which were one of them was a live-action Disney remake known as Aladdin, which I thought that movie was fine. I just personally think it's fine. I mostly prefer the animated classic Disney film. Of course, rest in peace, Robin Williams. That movie will always have a special place in my heart. And I have seen The Gentleman, which I did see that in cinemas back in 2020, and I had a lot more fun than Aladdin. I had a great time in that film, and I even bought the Blu-ray for my collection, and it still holds up really well for being a great fun crime film. I've seen the film technically 3 times, and I still really like it. And when I heard what kind of movie that he was making, I was interested what he can do. Well, I was really interested for this kind of film for what he was making. And having Jason Statham in the role, no matter what he's in, he could always still be a badass action star. It's like in The Transporter and the Fast and Furious sequels and other things. So, and like I said, this film unfortunately did not get a theatrical release in the UK because of the pandemic. It did get a theatrical release in the US, but we didn't get this until December, because that film was released back. It was originally released back in May, and I was wondering when we were going to get this, and I heard we were going to get this in December, and it had to skip cinemas, so it ended up being released on Amazon Prime. But I was still interested in seeing it, so I did watch it on Amazon Prime just a couple of days after it was released, and I had a good time with this film. I definitely had a really good time with Wrath of Man. Well, I wouldn't say this is Guy Ritchie's best film since The Gentleman, which I do prefer The Gentleman a bit more than this, but this is still a good movie. The main reason to see this film is, of course, Jason Statham. He is fun and entertaining in this movie. When it comes to Jason Statham in action roles, no matter what he's in, he can always still be fun and likable and awesome to watch on screen. And he does that, and he does that again in this movie. And he is, of course, just like I said, fun and entertaining here in this movie. And as for everyone else in the film, like you got Josh Hartnett, Scott Eastwood, and Eddie Marsan, and other people, I thought they all gave solid performances, but the characters I couldn't remember that much in this film. Not even the villain as well. I kind of found most of the other characters pretty much forgettable and less memorable, but the only memorable character for me was just, of course, Jason Statham as the main character, H. And the action sequences in this film, from the direction and the way they're directed by Guy Ritchie, were fun and entertaining here. They are fun and pretty violent. and the way it's directed for those scenes almost kind of reminded me of a video game. Like say any video games that tend to have like bank robbery missions, like say GTA 5 for example. It kind of reminded me of that, and they were fun to watch, especially seeing Jason Statham, you know, kicking everyone's ass in the film. Which that's when it comes to me watching him doing that. It's fun for me to watch him do stuff like that. Doing his usual gun plays and hand-to-hand combats. He's of course just fun to watch. It's fun to watch him doing that. But the story in the film, I kind of found it pretty much the biggest issue. I kind of found the story pretty much weak and forgettable, really, for some of the plot lines in the film. And the film is broken into 4 parts, which I found that pretty much unpredictable for myself, because I didn't expect that in the trailers. But yeah, that was the biggest issue. But the only storyline I kind of remember the most was just Jason Statham's storyline. When we do learn a bit more about him, when we do see him using his skills against those robbers, and we learn a bit more about him and why he's using those, and why is he using those skills for some reason and all that, and what's the main reason for them. So that's the only thing I kind of remember the most. But in the end, though, Wrath of Man, I had a good time with this film. Again, it's not Guy Ritchie's best film. It's definitely not his worst, but this is still a good watch. If you miss your chance to see this in cinemas in the US, it will be available to stream on any app of your choice, or you can just basically buy the physical media of your choice in the US. And for those in the UK, it is available to stream on Amazon Prime. If you do have Amazon Prime, this will definitely be a good suggestion for myself to watch this film, especially if you're a fan of Guy Ritchie or if you're a fan of Jason Statham. So that's pretty much all I have to say about this movie overall. I'm going to give Wrath of Man 3.5 out of 5. Pretty solid rating for a pretty solid action heist thriller like this one. Again, it's not Guy Ritchie's best film. It's not his worst. It's just a good watch. Again, I prefer The Gentleman a bit more than this. It's not like I hate this film. I would watch that movie again because I had a great time with that. If I were to watch it again, I would just only watch it just for once, if I was in a Jason Statham mood or anything. So thank you guys so much for watching for my AK After a Store review on Wrath of Man, and let me know what you think of this film if you have seen this already. Did you have a really good time with this one, or were you just let down with this one? So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews, and as always, this has been Foggins Media Corner signing off.